Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Napoleon, and today we are back with another Enlisted video, and today we have to talk about one of the most interesting maps as of right now. This is the newly added, or should be newly added map, Wald. This is essentially translated from German and essentially means forest, which is quite fitting considering the fact that Wald, or wood slash forest, is essentially what we have in the map. Now, this map is actually pretty unique because of a few things, and without further ado, we're just going to get started with talking about these things. Starting with the first one, is the fact that this map overall is pretty decent. I do think this map is one of the best maps that will be coming in this update. I do think it's pretty dang good. The buildings are good for infantry, the woods are good for planes and infantry, the tanks are not that going to be overpowered, which is actually not that bad considering as of right now, tanks are pretty much overpowered, and I do think more infantry combat is better. And I do think most of the stuff that we have in-game is featured around infantry combat, but tanks can overall utilize against them. In this update, tanks can use terrain to help them, but at the same time, infantry is also pretty dang good, and if you know how to play or you know how to hide away from HE shells or tank bombs or whatnot, then you will be fine. Now, another reason why this map is so good is because it has or features two factions. For example, you can bring in the USSR against the Germans, and you can bring the USA against the Germans, meaning that almost every faction as of right now, except for Japan, for obvious reasons, can use this map, which is actually pretty dang good, because not only can this map be used by pretty much every faction, it's also very good. So I do think this is a map situated in Germany in which both the Soviet Union and the United States can use, which is pretty much obvious. Now, what I do think Enlisted is planning as of right now is making maps similar to Wald, or making even more maps from Wald, but at the same time I think they're also increasing maps for both factions, meaning that both the USA and the USSR can essentially use the maps against Germany, or the Germans can fight both factions. Now, as of right now, I don't think a faction in which both sides can literally fight against Germany in one map at the same battle, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but I do think that more maps similar to Wald is going to happen situated around Germany, which actually does make sense. For starters, this is a good increase for Enlisted's use or slash time. For example, if you make one map, you can essentially give it to all three factions, so that's pretty dang good. And the fact that every player who wants to have the new map can use the new map, and is going to be pretty happy about it. Not to mention that this map itself is actually not bad, and this map is fairly balanced. Granted, it's just not that balanced for tanks, but at the same time, it's pretty balanced for pretty much every stuff except for planes, maybe. But definitely for infantry, so that's what we really need in the game as of right now. In my personal opinion, this map is pretty interesting. The setup is pretty interesting, considering that both the USA and the USSR can use this map. I do think that's pretty interesting, and I do think Enlisted should go towards that idea. But at the same time, they shouldn't only use that idea. For example, they shouldn't just give us maps in which both the USA and the USSR can use. They should focus on, let's just say, Pacific maps, so that's a great idea. But in my personal idea, this map is one of the best maps that are coming in-game for a while. So, that's that. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.